Hello, welcome back to Premier League Dad. How are we all doing? My name is Key and we are live again for Leeds against Manchester City. Huge game in the title race, this one. Massive game in the title race. Got to fancy City, but I definitely think Leeds have got the potential for an upset here. It's got banana skin written all over it, this one, hasn't it? If you look at the lineups tonight, we'll go through the lineups shortly. They are on the right-hand side here. If you just take a look, we've got both lineups. We've got the stats, the live stats, and all of the scores around the leagues as they've gone through the game, as we go through the game. Leeds have got Darlow in goal, Bogle, Justin, Roden, Strike, and Goodmanson at the back. It's Stack, Ampadu, Gruev, and Aronson in midfield, with Dominic Calvert-Lewin starting as the lone centre-forward. For City, it's Donnarumma in goal, Ait Nouri starts on the left, Nunes on the right, and Gay and Diaz in the middle. Rodri is in that pivot with O'Reilly and Bernardo Silva. Semenyo off the right, Cherki and Marmoush are at centre-forward. Or rather, Cherki, Marmoush, and Semenyo maybe as a front three. But the lineups on who scored, Sofa scored, Flash scored, all these different things are saying slightly differently to how City might actually line up. So I'm not entirely sure what the lineup's going to look like in terms of formation and structure. MCFC says no Haaland in the squad. I'm a bit nervous. Has it been said why he's out of the squad? Do we know why? Do we know why he's actually out of the squad? I've not seen. I don't even know, says, have you seen FIFA's new rules going into the World Cup? I think it'll slow the game down and make more 0-0s, not speed it up or make it fair like they want. What are the new rules you're talking about? Yeah, which new rules are we on about? I was going to do a little pre-match quiz for players who've played for both Leeds and Manchester City. So I don't know if you want to get your answers in the chat for players who've played for both Leeds and Manchester City. There are quite a few. Many names you won't necessarily recognise. But most of them you will. Pride of Merseyside, match of the day, should be fun to watch this weekend, Key. Yeah, well, it will be now. Now we've got the 5-2. MUFC says James Milner, Alfie Haaland, yeah. Phillips, of course, yeah. Alfie Haaland, Phillips is right. Keep them coming. Didn't Haaland's dad play for Leeds but not City? He played for both. Yeah, Alfinger Haaland played for Leeds and for Manchester City, and maybe Erling still will. There's still time in Erling Haaland's career. Maybe he will end up at Leeds at some point. I don't even know, says VAR on corners and second yellows. Countdowns on subs. Wenger's new daylight offside rule, but there is good things like speed up throw-ins and corners. I don't know how they're going to police that. I'm not sure how they police it. Lou says, also, if you remember, I said 8th for us and no Europe to not having a top goal scorer. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think Everton finished in Europe, mate, but it's not a bad result, certainly, to win away at Newcastle. ABC, do you ever... I do, mate, yeah, I do, but I don't really speak about them on here because you can't on TikTok, sadly. Cecil, is this all you do all day? No, not on a Saturday it is. Yeah, on a Saturday, generally speaking, we watch 2 or 3 games together. But yeah, through the week, it's only one. It's only one a day. 2.5 hours a day. ABC, can you not? I didn't even realise. I think you have to be like 8 over. You have to be an adult, obviously, for that. To be on those ones. But yeah, for this, you don't have to. Play us away every game and we've won the quad. I assume you want City to win tonight. Yeah, I do. I think I'd rather City win, but I don't really care if they don't. I don't really mind if they don't. It doesn't bother me if they don't. I won't lose any sleep if they don't. But I think City will win, and I'd like them to, on the basis that I think we see a title. I want to see a title race. I want to see a title race, and I think we will see a title race. I think Leeds will lose tonight. Roshan says, did you notice players were not passing to Rio? Every time he's free, they're not passing to him. Are players not trusting him? I think you might be reading too much into that, mate. Mr. Sharpovich, evening, Mr. Thomas. It's a 4-1-3-2 from City. Bernardo Silva in the lone Ramduta role. Ramduta? Ramduta. The lone Ramduta role. Sweet Lord. You've played too much footy manager, mate. Where's the Trek Artistas and the Enganches gonna go? How have you got the original World Cup trophy in your room? They lent it to me. I'm looking after it for Donald. Stop Arsenal winning the league. Fabrizio Romano has tweeted and said, a few months ago, Lamin Yamal says, a few months ago, I didn't feel good playing, and it wasn't just the pubalgia. But hey, listen, that's what I'm talking about with the whole Rio Engamoa thing. You can't play these kids at like 17, 18, loads and loads of games and not expect issues. Lamin Yamal, massive pain, playing through the pain barrier a lot of the time. Trent Alexander-Arnold, repeat muscle injuries. This is why we've got to be careful with Rio Engamoa. Garav, how's it going, mate? Good to see you. How am I doing? I'm very well, thank you, sir. Robbie Fowler is correct, Ryan. Yep, Robbie Fowler, keep them coming. So far, we're doing Leeds and Manchester City players. Players who've played for both Man City and Leeds in the Premier League. So far, people have said Robbie Fowler, Alfinger Haaland, James Milner and Calvin Phillips. Yes, they have all played for both of these teams. You could have also had Kasper Schmeichel. I didn't know Kasper Schmeichel had played for Leeds. I knew he'd played for City very briefly, but Leeds he played 37 games for, apparently, in 2010. So it wouldn't have been when they were in the Premier League, would it? Ian Poveda played very briefly for City. Lucas Nemecha played very briefly for City. Danny Mills, of course. Hey, Adam Johnson. Adam Johnson played for Leeds. I didn't know that. Darren Huckabee. Danny Granville. Paul Dickov. Jack Harrison didn't actually make an appearance for City. Paul Dickov, Fabian Delph, Scott Carson, and Michael Brown. There you go. Big up, Key. Great to see you, mate. Keith Scott, great points. Great 3 points for us both. I know we're both happy, aren't we, Keith? Merseyside wins today. Great result for Everton. Fabulous win for Liverpool. It's all good. LFC Jake Key, how you doing, my friend? Great win for the Reds. It was. Fabulous win, Jake. Really good win. Played really well. Deserved to win. And deserved to win well as well, I would say that. Non-every, I low-key think that Patrick Dorgu is better than Saka. Prove me wrong. Well, they play on completely different sides of the pitch. Different positions. Right, Alexis McAllister's now coming out and talking really positively about the team, which is a really good thing to see. We need to see a bit of that. Mackenzie, Dortmund v Bayern is the game to watch. Not on my channel, it's not on my telly. It's Leeds against City. That's what we're watching here. Huge game. Massive, massive opportunity for City to close the gap on Arsenal ahead of a big game tomorrow against Chelsea. They can put all the pressure on Chelsea. On City tomorrow, or on Arsenal tomorrow by winning here. Come on, Key, sort your head out. Can put all the pressure on Arsenal tomorrow by winning here, City. They have to do it. Amrish says, big up Key. I hate Leeds and I hope they get relegated. Did you see the formation? 5-4-1, and against Arsenal they bent to a 4-4-3. 4-3-3. I think they want Arsenal to win. Rubbish team. Mr. Sharpovich, we're here to offer visionary football views and hard-hitting truths. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. Egyptonica says United fans hate Liverpool as much as they hate City. I don't know, you know. I think City, they've always pitied City. Liverpool, there's hatred. There's raw hatred with Liverpool and United. Ryan says that Everton performance is top 5 this season. Top 5 for Everton overall, you think, this season? That's the best top 5 performances you've seen from the team. It's a good result. It's definitely a very good result. Right, Leeds down the right-hand side. And it could be a corner. It's going to be a goal kick. Well done. Right, let me get the second timer up to scratch. There you go. Fantastic. Shell, nice blue light for City, Key. Yeah, it's all for City, that one. Get the nice blue light for City. Ryan, I think that's one of the best performances I've seen this season. I mean, look, I think the away performance at Villa was very good. Everton are specialists in playing away. They can't really do playing at the Hill Dickinson. Thankfully, that's where Liverpool have got him this season. We've still got to play you at the Hill Dickinson. I'm glad we already beat you at Anfield. Craig Boy says, what's the worst rivalry hatred in your opinion? I don't know. It's kind of got a lot less nowadays, hasn't it? There's not as much like intensity to a lot of these rivalries because it's not like... It's diluted. There's not really that sort of intensity anymore. Not really. Like, it used to be Liverpool's best against Manchester United's best. So it would be a lot of Mancs versus a lot of Scousers. And that has a real intensity to it. But it doesn't when it's not Mancs and Scousers in the team. So if there's no Scousers playing for Liverpool and there's no Mancs playing for United, it's just a load of strangers from around the world temporarily wearing that badge. It does dilute it a little bit. Daddy O says Boca v River Plate or Celtic v Rangers. I mean, Celtic v Rangers has got a little bit more of a... There's a religious undertone to the Celtic Rangers game, isn't there? Ryan Spurrier, hey up Key, how are we, mate? I'm good, mate, thank you. How are you? The resilience to go back ahead twice within 2 minutes of conceding an equaliser. Very good. And Ollie, what games are you doing next week, Key? 1 sec, I'll have a look. What games are we doing next week? We're doing Real Madrid against Getafe on Monday. Wolves, Liverpool Tuesday. Newcastle, Man United on Wednesday. But we will be live from 7 o'clock. So I'm going to keep an eye on the Villa-Chelsea game. I think Arsenal are playing Brighton as well, aren't they? And City play Forest. So I'll be live at 7 o'clock. Even though it's an 8:15 kickoff that we're doing, Newcastle against United, we're going to focus on that one because we need to see Newcastle recover and pick up a win in that one. So yeah, Wolves Liverpool on Tuesday, Newcastle Man United on Wednesday, Tottenham Crystal Palace on Thursday, and Friday we're doing Wolves Liverpool again. Oh, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, how have you missed it? How have you missed it? Oh my God, he's had an absolute shocker there. It's a wonderful piece of play by Leeds down the right-hand side. I don't know what Mark Gay's doing. Mark Gay gets caught in no man's land. It's a lovely ball in. And Dominic Calvert-Lewin, hang your head in shame. Sweet Lord. Should score. Has to score. Not just should score, has to score. Disgusting. Disgusting finish. Shell says Everton never shone so brightly. And Egyptonicus, I think Villa are going to get relegated this season. That's impossible. They can't get relegated. What games on the weekend? Games on the weekend, we've got Wrexham Chelsea, Newcastle Man City, Rangers Celtic, and I can't remember who else we've got on the Sunday. We're doing Rangers Celtic in the Scottish Cup though, but Wrexham Chelsea, Newcastle City, Rangers Celtic, and I can't remember what else we've got. Spurs are going down. I can't see it, mate. What game? Sorry, Ryan Tyrrell, what's the score? Still 0-0. Still 0-0, but 5 minutes in, City desperately need to get this one. They need to start fast, City, and they've just not. Who wins the FA Cup? Who do you think? Who do you think wins the FA Cup? I think it's going to be a team that maybe one outside the top 6. I don't know. Someone like I don't know. Maybe Newcastle. Maybe it's Newcastle. Could be Newcastle who do it. Wouldn't surprise me. It's coming home, says CR7 to Wrexham. Mr. Sharpovich, Liverpool have to keep Frimpong fit. Him and Rio out wide is electric dynamism. That's been part of our problem. We just haven't been able to keep him fit. 3-star says that West Ham battering could turn out to be an extra point if it comes down to goal difference between Forest and West Ham. And Joe says, as a Fulham fan, I really hope it does. Fulham need to get something, don't they? They need to do it. Ryan says, Everton to win the FA Cup. Not really in it, mate, no. Not really. They've got to be in it to win it. They got knocked out a while ago. Surely he's an Everton fan, you should remember that. He got knocked out against Sunderland, if you remember. Egypt Sonica say, question Key, what do you think of Gyökeres against Spurs? I think it was his best performance all season. Agreed, yeah. We said that during the live. He was fantastic. He did very well. Ryan says, West Ham played really poor today. I don't think we'll stay up now. I don't think Nuno will be at West Ham next season. Oh, come on, mate. It's a tough away day, that away at Anfield. I think you've got to give him credit that, not every single performance is going to be fantastic when you're down there. But, yeah, I think they did well enough, West Ham, to give you hope that you can still stay up. Leeds chance. It's going to go out, I think, for a goal kick. Oh, no. They've kept it in. Calvert-Lewin. No, it is a goal kick now. Nathan, result of the day so far, Key. You'd have to say probably the Brentford win over Burnley, 4-3. 3-0 up. Somehow it gets pegged back to 3-0. Sorry, to 3-3. And then to have like I said, the mental fortitude, the mental resilience to go again and get a fourth to win it. And then to withstand 2 late Burnley offside or handball goals. I think that was really big for Brentford. And I think it might, at the end of the season, they might look back on that one as one that gets them maybe into Europe, potentially. So I would go Burnley and Brentford. But I can't underestimate just how big a performance it was for Liverpool as well. City are in. Semenyo, strike! Oh, must do better. Poor from Semenyo. If he was onside there, that's really, really poor. No, he was off. He was off. Leeds running rings around the City players. Not quite. They've started quite well though, Leeds. But he was just offside there, Semenyo. Get your predictions in the chat. Let me know what you're thinking. Just realised we haven't got a poll going on. Let's get a poll going on this one. There you go. Get your answers on the poll. Let me know what you're thinking. Pickford save of the season, apparently. Not seeing it myself. I've not seen it, but he's known for that, any Pickford. He tends to pull off big saves in big moments for Everton. He's done it before. So, yeah, no, I wouldn't be terribly surprised if that was the case. Joel says that Dominic Calvert-Lewin finish off that spell he had at Everton. I don't follow. Egypt Chronica says also that Brentford-Burnley game was insane. Can't wait for the highlights to come out. It was definitely a handball from Ashley Barnes at the end. Daddy O says 0-0 for this one. Keith Scott saying 2-1 to City. I think 3-1 City. I think we're going to see goals today in this one. I fancy 3-1 to City. But make sure you've put your comments. Make sure you've predicted in the chat. Sarah's saying 2-1 to City. Egyptonicus also key. Do you think there's a genuine possibility Tottenham are relegated? No. Not even slightly. Not even a 1% chance. Will Forever says 2-1. Adam, 2-2 for me. 2-2. Desmond. Nathan City 4-0. Once they get the first, look out. And Anye says 1-1. Says James from Salisbury. Lovely. Good to see you, James. Joe, the Dominic Calvert-Lewin reminds me of that finish. Reminds me of that spell he had at Everton where he could not score. Yeah, it does a little bit, doesn't it? Yeah. Fair point. If Haaland was playing maybe 3-1. I actually think in many ways, playing with no real fixed centre-forward might actually give City an advantage here because Marmoush, Semenyo, Cherky, they all kind of interchange. Like, look at that right now. Look at Semenyo right now. He's basically centre-forward. Now he's drifting over to the right-hand side and Marmoush has gone in the middle. But Semenyo was centre-forward there for a second. And you're going to see Cherky running from deep. You're going to see Bernardo Silva running from deep. You know, they've got a lot of dynamism in that squad, City. They've got options there now. Daddy-O says, is it just me or is it a shame now? I can't wait for the highlights to come out and I can't wait for match of the day anymore. Modern football for you, mate. That's just how it is. Onyé says Newcastle in a massive hole right now. I can't lie. It's not looking good. No Europe next season, I reckon. I don't think Newcastle get Europe. No, I agree. And up the toffee, says Bensky. Fantastic performance from Everton. Again, away from home, unsurprisingly. They can do it all away from home. They can't do much at the Hill Dicko, though. Hill Dickinson, not a happy hunting ground for Everton points-wise, but on the road, they're fantastic. Just so glad we get to play them at Hill Dickinson again. Egyptonica says, Key, we're almost 3 months into 2026 and Tottenham are yet to pick up a win. Also, they have the Champions League to play for. We're almost 3 months into 2026. January, February. That's how I know you've got an agenda. Almost 3 months into 2026 is not 2 months. Come on. January and February, we're 2 months in and they've not got a win. I agree, it's not great. But they've played in the FA Cup some of those weeks, but not to get a win in the league is still not fantastic. I still don't think Spurs aren't going down, mate. Come on. Perish the thought. Mr. Sharpovich says, Marmoush in the second punter role. Expect the front two dominate the half spaces. You're trying to wind me up now, Mr. Sharpovich, with these football manager phrases. Who's going to play in the Trequartista role? Who's the Trequartista? Who's the Enganche? Absolutely shocking. Nathan says, Key, if Everton was at Goodison, I think Toffees would have been top 6. Won't go that far. They've still got to deal with Beto and Tierno Barry up front. Who's playing better? Feb 26, who's playing better? So far, I'd probably say City have done okay. Leeds have had one big chance. The one big chance in the game so far has come Leeds' way. But City now starting to dominate possession. Egyptonicus, I do have an agenda, to be fair. And that's fine. I get it. You know, it's all good. If you don't want Spurs to stay in the division, but do you not want to keep them up? Do you not want Spurs to stay up? I never wanted... When United were in a relegation battle last year, I never wanted them to go down because I want to see... I like the derbies. I want to play United every year 2 times as a minimum. That's what makes football, isn't it? You don't want to lose the North London derby. Plus, you're doing all right in them. Caleb, hot take, Roberto Firmino was an overall better player than Neymar. That's not even a hot take. That's not even remotely a hot take. Firmino's definitely better than Neymar. Not even... Neymar was shocking. Neymar's not even the top 20 Brazilian centre-forwards in my lifetime. We've done this before on the channel. Nathan, Everton only 5 points off 6th with a poor home form. Away record's been brilliant for Everton, but I still just don't see them. They're not in Europe. They're not getting in Europe. Pride of Merseyside says, I wouldn't want Everton or United down. That's our biggest games of the season. And be ashamed, Leeds fans breaking their fast and booing and whistling at it. Well, again, you never know whether is that due to them being, like, ignorant, or is that just get on with it kind of thing, or is that just, to be honest, they boo the referees changing the communication things the other day, didn't they? The referees not changing that. I mean, you never know. I don't know. There's some ignorant people in the world. But I tend to think glass half full. Daddy-O, last year Spurs and United weren't in a relegation battle. The gap was too big. This year Spurs are in a legit... Nah, they balls. Spurs aren't going down. Not a chance. Onyé says, hot take, I think Bayern will win the Champions League. It'll be a Bayern-Arsenal final, in my opinion. To each their own. I don't think Bayern... Personally, I think Bayern make it past Atalanta, but no further. Real Madrid or City will comfortably beat Bayern. Comfortably. The Pride of Merseyside says... Egyptonicus. A fun fact. On the day of the Europa final, I was rooting for Tottenham to win, only because of Son. That's nice. Joe, here he is. Joe, how's it going, mate? How are you feeling? Leeds are in here. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, big chance for Leeds. If he can get a shot away. Can he get a shot away? Oh, across the face of goal and wide. Very nearly. Fast start for Leeds. Yeah, how you doing, Joe? How are you feeling after that 3-2 defeat? We did say, to be fair, didn't we? Joe, to be fair to Joe, he has said he thought that Everton would get a result today. He said it yesterday. He thought there was something in it for Everton, and we talked about it last night, didn't we, mate? H. Bennett, Neymar, not top how many? Top 20. For me, anyway. I don't think Neymar's top 20 Brazilian strikers in my lifetime. But again, to each their own. Everyone can have their own opinions on that. Leeds, edge of the box. Good strike. Oh, good save from Donnarumma. Did well there. Joe, we're knackered. Everyone can see it. Could be tiredness. Does it not make a little bit of a... Surely there's something in the fact that Newcastle conceded 2 so quickly after scoring, though. Like, that's got to be a tactical, maybe even a mentality issue beyond just, like, tiredness. To concede 2 straight after scoring, that's poor from Newcastle. That's really, like... That suggests there's something more in it, maybe. Anya says, do you reckon the Saudis regret investing in Newcastle? I don't think they properly thought it through before investing. No, I don't think so. I mean, look, to be honest, they've invested an awful lot in football as a whole across, their own country and across the world, with Newcastle as well being a key one. But they've invested an awful lot of money in it, and now they are just looking at the costs, and they're being a bit more cautious, Saudi, with the costs. It's not just about, we can pay anything we want and we can get anything and get any player on whatever massive wages. That just doesn't, that reality doesn't exist anymore really for Saudi. They're still a very, very rich nation, but the price of oil, which is like 70-80% of the economy, something like that, it dropped from about 85 quid a barrel to something like 55 quid, didn't it? It was about a 25-30% drop, something like that. So if your economy drops by 25-30% on something, so quick, inevitably you're going to start looking at costs and thinking, maybe that's why Newcastle didn't sign anyone in January. Hulk was better than Neymar. I liked him. Joe says, I'm on the bus, Paul got the volume off. And Pride of Merseyside says, Joe, he said he's glad Everton won. Keith, it's been a good day on Merseyside. Hit that like button, guys. 2-3 City here, says Pride of Merseyside. Aqua Cleanse, maths not your strong point. It was a 25 to 30% drop in the price of oil. That's all I was saying. Price of oil was a 25 to 30% drop, and it was the figures quoted. Like I said, I'm not. It was about 8. I think it was about 86 quid a barrel down to about, I don't know, 55 or something quid a barrel. I don't know, but it was around them figures. Patrick, I captained Ekatiki. I'm buzzing. Nice. Onyé says, to be honest, the recruitment has been shocking, but there's not much they can do. The pool of players who would join isn't large. The pool of players who would join Newcastle isn't large. I'm not sure about that. I think there'd be quite a few who would. But I agree, there's maybe the top players wouldn't join. Joe, I'm also sick of the toxic atmosphere. We won a cup, for Christ's sake. It's nowhere near Eddie's fault. I think the manager's got to take a little bit of blame, mate. Just a little tiny bit of blame for the fact that they've conceded 2 so quickly after scoring. I think that's got to be a factor. As in, what I mean is the top players who Newcastle would want wouldn't join. They got a fair few decent ones, though. I mean, Fabian Schär wasn't a bad player, I think. And, you know, they managed to convince Tonali. They certainly can do it. They've just got to get the money to be able to do it. They're not spending enough. Daddy-O says, I'm glad they didn't go the shady route and funnel players into Saudi to then ship them to Newcastle on the cheap or loan to avoid PSR. I think they would have known that was sort of skirting the lines a little bit. I think everyone knew that loophole was available. And, you know, probably... Honestly, there's no team watching that Manchester City outcome more closely than Newcastle. Because if City get a let-off, there's a precedent set then. And Newcastle will do something similar. Almost a red card for Schlotterbeck in the Bayern Munich game. "22 minutes in, we have still not really seen much from City. We've not seen enough from them in a... As Premier League sort of, you know, title-chasing side, they've not really done enough here. I know it's a tough away place to come, Leeds. It is very difficult, but and I know they're missing the talisman in Erling Haaland, but they've not done enough in terms of dominating the ball and breaking the lines. It's been a bit timid from City. I'd expect them to be a bit more bold here and really go for it. Try and get an early goal. Not seen enough from City in that sense. Nico O'Reilly's done very well there, though. That's not a foul, ref. How's he given that? That is never, ever, ever a foul. Only one shot on target in the game so far, and it's gone to Leeds. Sarah says, hold up, when Liverpool was shocking, you said it wasn't Slot's fault, but it's a bit of Eddie's fault. How? When Liverpool was shocking, you said it wasn't Slot's fault, but it's a bit of Eddie's fault. How? No, I mean in the sense of it was Eddie's fault today. I'm saying if you look to just purely at today's game, if you see a team score 2 goals and then literally within minutes concede 2 straight away, I think the manager might have to bear a little bit of responsibility for that. You'd have to look at the manager and say, come on, there's got to be something there. I'm not talking about Newcastle's form across the season, but I would certainly say today, if your team scores and concedes immediately after, you'd be devastated. If they score again, you'd make sure that didn't happen. You would literally just say, for 10 minutes, lads, let's just shut up shop. And Everton scored again. That was a real problem for Newcastle today. And I think they've got to look at more than just individual players. I think the manager has to take a bit of accountability for it. Daddy-O says it's only what the City Group or Blue Co do, just on a countryside scale. And Keith says Newcastle fans were booing the players off the pitch. That doesn't help. Archie, up the toffees. Key on the coach now from the game, and I've lost my voice. Great away win, Archie. Fabulous away win. Really, really good. And again, it's Everton, innit? It's standard. Everton doing brilliantly on the road. Away games for that. If you like, we've talked about this earlier. If Everton could play every game away from home, they might well get Europe. But the Hill Dickinson's such a poor hunting ground for them. They're not going to do it. Leeds look the better team at the moment, says Ted. RTP, what's the scores? Currently 0-0 Leeds and City. And what a brew says, since the arrival of our new set-piece coach, a lot more confident when we're attacking corners. And Archie, we'd win the league if we played every game away, mate. Thank God that's not allowed. Welshwing says Calvert-Lewin couldn't hit a barn door. And Joe says it's not the manager, for fuck's sake, Kiwi dominated. But at the end of the day, if you're conceding 2 minutes after scoring, Joe, that has to be a factor. Surely that has to be a factor. And the manager has to take a degree of accountability for that. I'm not saying it's his fault, but you've got to look at the manager and say that's poor. To do it once is bad, but to do it twice in the same game is very, very bad. Inexcusable, you might say. Gamer Guru says, come on Leeds, you beautiful bastards. Prince Rupert, brilliant stuff at work, so missed the Everton game, but watch us draw with Burnley on Tuesday. Come on the Clarets. Hey, Turf Moor was unbelievable today. They very, very nearly pinched a win against Brentford, let alone a draw. Even a win they could have got in the end. But 2 disallowed goals in the end for Burnley. They got a defeat. They got a loss. So, Burnley against Everton, Tuesday night, at the Hill Dicko. We'll be watching it. Nelson says, Pep, make changes in the second half immediately, otherwise City will lose. Also, take off O'Reilly out as well. He's having a bad game. Semenyo, Nori, Marmoush, Diaz out in the second half. That seems excessive to take 4 or 5 players off. I wouldn't be taking those 4 off yet. City do need to make changes, but looking at the City bench, who would you bring on? You've got Ake, Doku, Foden, Kusanov, Nico Gonzalez, Reinders, Savinio, and Stones. It's not a bad bench, that. I'd probably be inclined to put Nico O'Reilly back to left back. Take Ait Nori off, put Nico O'Reilly back to left back, and I would go with maybe put Nico Gonzalez into midfield just to shore things up. Maybe Reinders, and then try and, if you can, try and get Doku in there. Maybe Doku for Cherky. It doesn't seem to be a game for Cherky, this one. Welshwing City haven't gotten out of their own half yet. They haven't, no. They haven't got out of their own half. They're just getting a little bit more of a foothold in the game here now. Leeds are penned in their own penalty area. Reinders on for me. He's brilliant. I'm not a fan of Reinders. Scouse and Proud, get in, up the toffees. Good result for Everton. Yeah, I'm not a massive fan of Reinders. I think Nico Gonzalez is better for what City are trying to do here. Pride of Merseyside, Everton have to be the weirdest team of the season. Not won in 7 at home, but won nearly every away game in the last few months. You'd be so gutted, wouldn't you? As an Everton fan, you'd be looking at it and thinking, why can't we play like this at home? And do you know why it is? And this is not my opinion, but I do agree with it. So I heard this from, was it from Ped and Baz? Was it from Toffee TV they said this? I can't remember if it was Toffee TV or another Everton fan channel, but I was watching it the other day when they won. No, it was after the Bournemouth game. I think it was after the Bournemouth game. They got beat. And I looked at them and I was like, why are they dropping so many points at home? And this Everton fan channel said, it's because of the fans. It's because of the Everton fans. At the Hill Dickinson Stadium, there's such a massive expectation that they have to go there and play really good football, front foot football. They have to not necessarily win all the time, but they can't go there and sit off like they do away from home. Away from home, Everton are very good at, you come and break us down and then we'll hit you on the counter-attack, or we'll play through you we'll play very direct, we'll play over the top and things like that. Everton are very, very good at playing on the counter. with a low block. They can't do that at home because the fans won't let them. That was the allegation made. How true that is, I tend to agree with it. I think there's a point there. But that was a point made by an Everton fan channel. I just can't remember which one it was. 1-0 to Dortmund. Wow. Dortmund 1-0 up. And Tierno Barry with a late goal. I'm made up for Tierno Barry. Top player, Tierno Barry. I think there's a good player in there in future. Pride of Merseyside. Didn't Spurs have the same problem at Wembley when they moved there that season? It could be the new stadium factor. That's always a factor when any team moves to a new ground. West Ham, when they left Upton Park, they struggled. I think when Southampton left the Dell, they struggled. Leicester, when they left Filbert Street, they struggled. I think Arsenal as well. Arsenal, when they left Highbury, they struggled at the Emirates for a little spell. You know, so maybe it could just be the new stadium effect. Reggie, why is everyone saying that Pickford's save was save of the season? A good save made to look better by Pickford's little T-Rex arms. Oh, goodness gracious me. City down the right-hand side here. Opportunity if they can get this right. Aït-Nouri's at the back stick. Got to get the ball in the box. Semenyo cleared away by Leeds, and it might well be going for a corner, this one, is it? No. Bernardo Silva. Oh, ref, come on. Come on, ref. He's given a throw in there. Oh, Bernardo Silva got a kick in the face. Scouse and proud, he's a Mackham, he's a blue. Pride of Merseyside. Spurs have struggled, to be honest, in their last season at White Hart Lane. They finished second with 86 points. They struggled in their last season at White Hart Lane. They finished second with 86 points. Was that at White Hart Lane? Was that the Leicester season, was that? Rehan, will Liverpool challenge for the title next season? No. No. Reggie, everyone's biased because Pickford is English, that's why. And James Hislop says City are going to bottle the league today. Nah, City aren't bottling anything. They're not bottling anything. Listen, if City win the league, Arsenal have bottled it. If City don't win the league, they've not bottled it. They've not bottled it at all. City shouldn't even be in a title race. They've been dreadful all season. The only reason they're in a title race is because Arsenal have gone like that. And like, yep, go on, you go, come on, get back in it. Go on, lads, we'll open the door for you. Great pass down the left-hand side. Marmoush gives it away. Poor from Marmoush, that. Terrible. Will Liverpool challenge? Oh, sorry, Kane Jones. He can't be Leicester season. We finished second then. City are now dominating the ball a little bit more, though. Possession-wise, it feels like they're starting to get, like I said, get the foot on the ball. That's a foul, ref. Come on. Who's going down this season? I think Forest or Leeds with Wolves and Burnley. Wolves, Burnley, and then it's between Forest and Leeds. I think West Ham stay up. So I'm torn on Forest and Leeds. It might well be Forest. I'd actually quite like it to be Forest because then we might get a better deal on Elliot Anderson and Murillo. Murillo's the one I want for Liverpool. Lou, see the save, lad, from Pickers. I didn't. No, I haven't seen it yet. City, ball over to the left-hand side. Here's Aït-Nouri. Gareth, how was the Liverpool game, Key? Missed it, being out all day. Really good, yeah, really, really good. We went 3-0 up. Ekatike with a great finish for the first goal. Took a little deflection going in, but it had wrong-footed the keeper anyway. Then Van Dijk with a header off a corner. Then the third goal, Ekatike lays it back to McAllister. McAllister smashes it in the roof of the net. Good goal, 3-0. And then, as soon as we came out second half, West Ham pinched one. Everyone was a little bit nervy at that point, thinking, oh, God. But then we go and score a fourth. Cody Gakpo scored a fourth. Really good finish. Again, slight deflection, but did well. Cody Gakpo had missed a sitter just before that as well. But we went 4-1 up. And then West Ham get another one. Tati Castellanos off a corner. Liverpool defending pretty poorly. But good header from Castellanos, and it's 4-2. And then Frimpong comes off the bench. Nayoni comes off the bench, and Rio Ngamoa come off the bench, and we just killed them with pace. Rio Ngamoa did really well. Nayoni missed an absolute sitter, and then Frimpong got the ball, played it across the face of goal. Disasi sliding in, it's an own goal, it's 5-2. So we massively deserved the win. It was a really good win for Liverpool, and against a very, very in-form West Ham side, by the way. They're not a bad side, West Ham. They're playing really well at the minute. Champions League position predictions. I think Liverpool finish 3rd or 4th. Chelsea 3rd or 4th. United 5th or Villa 5th. United and Villa are a straight shot for 5th, I think, for the Champions League places. At the minute, based on current form, you'd probably say United will pinch 5th. But Villa are falling away. So I think it's between United and Villa for 5th. But Liverpool and Chelsea will get 3rd and 4th. How was Gakpo and Salah? Salah didn't really do anything all game. Salah was pretty dreadful. Gakpo, like I said, missed a sitter, but then scored a good goal. So credit to where it's due. Gakpo, I thought, did really well. But yet again, because he misses a sitter, he'll probably get criticism, where Salah will not. Salah won't get any criticism because there's, as you well know, mate, there's Player FC fans at Liverpool who they'll support Salah no matter what. Pride of Merseyside says, to be honest, City was shite in 2021 and won the league from being 8th at Christmas. And Welshwing, I think this 4-1-3-2 is killing City's momentum. They need to get a bit more control in midfield. I don't think this is Cherky's game, if I'm dead honest. United 5th, are you crazy? Well, I mean, you say, are you crazy? But, like, United are level on points with 5th right now. Like, why is that such a ridiculous... It's not a ridiculous thing to say United 5th when they are literally only ahead of 5th by goal difference. Tomorrow, they could be 5th. It's entirely possible they could be 5th tomorrow. Chelsea fixtures are horrendous. I know Chelsea have got a bigger squad. Got a much bigger squad than a lot of the teams around them. Ronnie says, do Arsenal have to make the Champions League final after that draw? I would say so. Yeah. Leeds, says Luke. And 3 stars says, if the worst case scenario plays out for us, Key, I cannot see Mr. Marinakis settling for cheap offers for our crown jewel players. I don't think he'll have much of a choice though, will he, mate? Because they're on pretty big money. A lot of them are on pretty big money and they'll force their way out. It'll get ugly. You know, you say you won't accept cheap offers. I'm not saying cheap offers, but it'll be cheaper than it would be if you were in the Prem. Like, there's a concession for you not being in the Prem. Like, if you've got £100 million player, but you're in the Championship, he's not £100 million player anymore because you have to sell him. You can't keep him. There's no world in which Elliot Anderson, Morgan Gibbs-White, Murillo for sure, but maybe even some others would stay at Forest if they are in the Championship. It's just not happening. I can't see it. Aaron says, because we haven't played this weekend. I know you could only get, even if you only get a point tomorrow, you might get a point. You might get beat. If you get beat tomorrow by 2 goals, you're below us. We go above you. 2 goals, we go above you. Oh, it's a great run. Leeds are in here. Come out. Good save. Great save from Donnarumma. Did well. Gareth, do you think wingers in general are struggling with the way teams are setting up this season? It does seem to be a thing that is happening with a lot of wingers, doesn't it? Could be. Maybe it is a wingers thing. Pride of Merseyside says, I don't think Gakpo or Salah did anything, to be honest, but Gakpo got the goal, so first to him. I thought Gakpo did well enough today. Stacey says, we'll be 3rd, not 5th tomorrow. I think you will be as well, Stacey, but I guess what I'm saying is I don't think it's that ridiculous a claim to say United will finish 5th when you're literally a matter of goal difference away from that position. It's not that grandiose a claim, is it? Nathan, thoughts on our win, Key? Fabulous away win. Header! Oh, what a save! What a save! Oh, wait, I'll tell you what, that was shocking defending from Leeds. Carl Darlow pulls off a wonder save from Nico O'Reilly, ghosting in the same way that he did against Newcastle. It's a lovely header from O'Reilly, straight at the keeper. But Darlow, what are you? Who's the guy who heads it back here? Darlow pushes it out, and a Leeds defender tries to head it back to him while the goalkeeper's on the floor. And it ends up going out for a corner to City. Unbelievable, that. Absolutely unbelievable. Why is that Leeds player heading it back to him? I know. Pride of Merseyside, there's a real split in the fan base for Salah and Gakpo. Who's shitter at the moment? It's a real split. All right. Sorry, my dog's just come upstairs. And he's walked in. And he's mithering the life out of me. But yeah, I thought Everton did really well, mate. Thought Everton were wonderful. All right, come here. Come on. Come on. Come on. There you go. There you go. Oh. Don't forget you have a trip to Old Trafford. That is where we send Liverpool 6th. Mate, listen. We battered you at Anfield. We'll beat you at Old Trafford. We've won at Old Trafford. We've won at Old Trafford many a time in recent years. We'll do it again. That Nico O'Reilly's a player. Big fan of him. Unbelievable. Reggie, what's the dog called? Key Arteta. Oh, what a turn. Chance. Claim for the penalty for City. Nah, you're not getting a pen for that. DJ Mo, nice dog, Key. He's a nice dog. Yeah, he's all right. His name's Smokey. It's not my dog, but he's yeah. It's not Mikel. It's not Mikel. Sadly, we didn't call him Mikel. Madhouse at the moment. First two can be predicted, to be honest, but the next three is anybody's guess. Liverpool could end up in the Conference League. Behave yourself. We're not getting the Conference League. Even if we stay up, though, players will be more than likely have to be sold anyway. Only thing that maybe happens to stop that is Forest win the Europa League and we get Champions League. But yeah, listen, United absolutely could. I'm not saying United won't finish ahead of Liverpool. They've got nothing else to play for. They're literally only in one competition. You know, Liverpool are still focusing on 3. So it's very, very difficult for Manchester United to throw it away. They've got a squad as big as ours, maybe bigger than ours, and should really be in the Champions League with the money that they've spent. So yeah, it actually would be a massive failure, wouldn't it, if they finished outside the Champions League places? Up the toffees, Fremo. Fantastic away win for Everton, that won it. Vincent Jamie Lane says, good to see you dog again, mate. Not being seen since fireworks night. Yeah, he's fine now. He's chill. There's no fireworks tonight, so he's all good. Mad Dog says, what a dog. The Yorkie's okay too. Pride of Merseyside says, we've actually performed better away at United than at home to United in recent years. We have actually, haven't we? Yeah, 7-0 aside. We've battered United at Old Trafford. 4-0, 5-0. Couple of, yeah, I mean, we did well last year, didn't we? We tend to do really well at Old Trafford. We've dominated there. They've had one win at Anfield in 10 years and they've not stopped reminding us about it. Aaron, you should be winning the league with the money you spent. Massive downfall. That's not true. That's not true. Liverpool spent an awful lot less than everyone else and we're replacing players rather than adding to the squad. I think that's a big factor. Do we beat Fulham tomorrow, Julius? I think Spurs... I think you will, yeah. I think you will. Fulham haven't been brilliant at home recently. They lost against Everton. It's a tough place to go, Craven Cottage, but I think Spurs will do okay tomorrow. Dave, off subject, but where do you get the lights for your units behind you? Honestly, mate, I couldn't tell you. Not even gatekeeping. I genuinely couldn't tell you. My missus bought them for me. I have no idea. Unfortunately, Stickman didn't want to train with Newcastle, hence why his leg is broken now. Yeah, that's not true. He broke his leg like 4 months after that, mate, so that's just silly. City into the box. Oh, that's a penalty, surely, ref. Is that not a penalty? He dove in there. Edge of the box. Nico O'Reilly. Boomer says it's funny that people say that Arsenal has the best squad depth. Have you seen City's bench? I have, and it's still not as good as Arsenal's. Because Arsenal have spent more. Quite considerably more, that's why. Madhouse, who will replace Eddie Howe? Who will replace Eddie Howe? I don't know. Maybe someone like a... Would Thomas Frank be a good option? Or maybe someone like a... Maybe Glasner. I don't know. Maybe Glasner. Glasner likes to pick fights with owners. And I'm not sure he'd pick fights with the Saudis just as often. I think the Saudis will want someone who, follows instructions. Dave says Leeds are doing all right, to be fair. Yeah, Leeds have started very well. And they've missed the biggest chance in the game, if we're being dead honest. There's only a minute left before half-time. Savage, you said Haaland is not playing. He's not, no. Haaland not playing today. Pride as Merseyside says, if you've seen Beto's goal, Pope should have done better. I've not seen... to be honest, I don't know why they're playing Nick Pope. Nick Pope's, for me, he's done as a keeper. He's been shocking recently. Maybe Amorim. Could be Amorim. Yeah, Amorim to Newcastle. But again, he's a bit outspoken, isn't he, Ruben Amorim? Thomas Frank or De Zerbi, maybe, says Boomer Freddy. De Zerbi to Newcastle makes sense, doesn't it? Can we play away every week? You can have Anfield. Chance! There it is! City are in front! Hey! It's Semenyo! The title race is back on! And there you go, City are in front. It's been very, very poor from City most of the half. Leeds have done very well to keep it level. Leeds have had the biggest chance all half. But then, there you go, that's all it takes. One bit of class. Ball gets whacked across the face of goal. And there's Semenyo. And that's the difference. Spending the big money in January, that has been the difference for City to get back in this race. It's 1-0. Antoine Semenyo is a lovely pass through for Aït-Nouri. And there you go. What a goal that is. Absolutely fantastic. 1-0 City. 1-0 City. Arsenal tears. The Gooners are crying. Come on, City, says Ryan. It's a great goal, that, isn't it? Fabulous goal. Pep Guardiola delighted. 3-star, that rules Glasner going to Forest then. Yeah, can't see Glasner going to Forest either, given Mr. Marinakis' outspoken nature, let's call it. Julia says, how are you feeling, Arsenal fans? They're not so loud now. It is half-time. It was right on half-time, that goal. The worst possible time. The worst possible time for City to score as far as Leeds are concerned. Leeds, Danny Farke was already planning that second half team talk. He was ready for it. He knew what he was going to say. He was going to say, well done, lads. Well done. You've got us to half-time at 0-0. It's a fabulous performance. And now, within seconds, he's got to rethink all that. And it's the 1-0. Fabulous moment in the title race. Big moment in the title race. Right. Should we do a little cheeky half-time quiz? We could do a little cheeky half-time quiz. Let's do one. So, get your answers in the chat. Who are the top 25 Premier League assisters for Manchester City? Sorry, top 20. Top 20 Premier League assisters for Manchester City. Nimmy Gooner, Key, you'll cry as usual at the end of this game. Watch out. No chance, mate. No chance. 1-0 City. They're in front. You guys, You guys are bottling it again. Did Key cheer the City goal? Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Be yourself, Dylan. Foden, Will Forever, and Be yourself, Dylan. De Bruyne. Yes. Kevin De Bruyne is 1. Foden is 9. David Silva, Pride of Merseyside. David Silva is 2nd. Gundogan, says Adam. Ilkay Gundogan is 13th. Torre, says Boomer Freddy. Yeah, Yaya Torre is 8th, just ahead of Foden. Bernardo Silva, says Will Forever. Yeah, Bernardo Silva is there. He's 3rd. Sveta says, shameless fan cheering the cheats. They've not, mate, they've not been found guilty of anything. Not been found guilty of anything. It's only charges. Keep them coming. Bernardo Silva, Gundogan, De Bruyne, Foden. Yaya Toure. Gabriel Jesus, Boomer Freddy. Yeah, Gabriel Jesus is 10th, just ahead. Oh, sorry, just behind Phil Foden. Haaland, says Stacey. Yeah, Haaland, believe it or not, given apparently he only scores goals, he's 15th in Manchester City's all-time Premier League assisters. Erling Haaland is 15th, slightly behind Gundogan. Sterling, be yourself, Dylan. Yeah, Raheem Sterling is 4th. Good answer. Nasri, Luke. Nasri is 7th, just ahead of Yaya Toure. So we've got Nasri, we've got Haaland, we've got Sterling. Mahrez, Riyad Mahrez is 6th. Good answer. Gareth Barry, Nathan. Gareth Barry is not in the list. No, not Gareth Barry. Fernandinho is though, Andy. Fernandinho's 19th. Long shot, but Navas. Good answer. Navas is 17th. Good answer, Freddie. Grealish isn't right, Ian. No, not Jack Grealish. He doesn't make it. Will, what position did Alfie Haaland play? Was he a midfielder? No, he was a centre-back. Adam Aguero. Yes, Sergio Aguero is 5th. He's 5th, Sergio Aguero. Not Cherky. Milner we've got. Oh, no, we've not got Milner. There you go. James Milner, 14th. Good answer. So you've got, so far, you've got Fernandinho. We're looking for the top 20 assisters, creators of goals. The top 20 creators of goals in Premier League history for Manchester City. So far, you've got Fernandinho, Jesus Navas, Haaland, Milner, Gundogan, Jesus, Foden, Yaya Toure, Nasri, Mahrez, Aguero, Sterling, Silva, Bernardo Silva and David Silva, that is. And then Kevin De Bruyne is 1st. So you've still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left to get. Not Kyle Walker. No, not Kyle Walker. Not Sean Wright-Phillips. Not Colo Torre. Not Edison. Keep them coming. Keep the guesses coming in. Not Edison. Not Milner. Carlos Tevez, Andy. There you go. Carlos Tevez is 12th. Good answer. The top 20 goal creators for Manchester City in Premier League history. Not Sean Wright-Phillips, Stacey. I like your thinking. Good answer. He was a very good player for City, but not Sean Wright-Phillips. He wasn't in the top 20. So far, you've got Fernandinho, Navas, Haaland, Milner, Gundogan, Tevez, Jesus, Foden, Yaya Toure, Nasri, Mahrez, Aguero, Sterling, Bernardo Silva, David Silva, Kevin De Bruyne. 1, 2, 3, 4 left to get. Kolarov, Freddie, yeah. Kolarov is 20th. Alexander Kolarov, what a player he was. We've got Nasri, Will. Dzeko, no, not Dzeko. Not Colo Torre. You've got De Bruyne, and Kolarov was the last answer. There's still 1, 2, 3 left to get. Think really good creative players for Manchester City in the last, 15 years. Ngog. Not Alvarez, not Fowler, not Adebayor. Good answers, though. I like them. It's good, but it's not right. As Roy Walker would say on... What was he on? What was Roy Walker on? Catchphrase. As Roy Walker would say on Catchphrase. It's good, but it's not right. It's good, but it's not red. Rodri, good answer. Rodri is right. Rodri is in there at 16th, just ahead of Navas, just behind Erling Haaland. Not Craig Bellamy, Stacey. No, there's two players and they're both still playing. Not necessarily playing for City, but they are both still playing. Not Frank Lampard, no. Not Joe. Joe, what a player. Brazil's finest, Joe. Everton fans loved him. Yeah, no, not Joe. Not Robinho. I'll tell you, I'll give you a clue. There's one who is still in the Manchester City squad. And I think he might even be in the Manchester City squad today. And one who is still playing, but not in the Man City team anymore. Not Niall Quinn. DJ Padre, can't wait for your sad reaction tomorrow when Arsenal trash Chelsea. Fantastic, mate. I can't wait for you to watch it. Foden, Mahrez. We've got Foden, we've got Mahrez. Sané, Luke. Good answer. Leroy Sané is 11th. Good answer. Robinho's in prison. Alexia says they don't like giving Semenyo through passes, though. Not Micah Richards. Good answer, Bryn, but it's not Micah Richards. Bernardo Silva we've got. Milner is already in there. Not John Stones. Doku is the answer. Nathan and Adam got it. Doku is the answer. He's 18th. So they are the top 20 Premier League goal creators for Manchester City in Premier League history. You've got Alexander Kolarov at 20th. 19th, Fernandinho. 18th, Jeremy Doku. 17th, Jesus Navas. Do you know, I always, it's completely unrelated, but I always remember Jesus Navas in Footy Manager or Championship Manager, whichever it was. Whenever you signed him, he always had a massive problem with homesickness, didn't he? You could never sign him. If he was at Sevilla, you couldn't sign him. Even though he was brilliant, you couldn't sign him for, like, you know, Inter Milan, or if you were at Liverpool, you couldn't sign him for Liverpool because he was always homesick. But he was a really good player, Jesus Navas. So yeah, Kolarov, Fernandinho, Doku, Navas, Rodri, Erling Haaland at 15th. 15th, Erling Haaland. Does that surprise anyone? The fact that in Manchester City's all-time goal creators in Premier League history, Erling Haaland is 15th already. I mean, I know he's been there a few years now, but that's quite a lot, you know. That is quite a lot to be 15th. Milner's 14th, Gundogan 13th, Tevez 12th, Leroy Sané 11th, Gabriel Jesus is 10th, and then it's Foden, Phil Foden, Yaya Toure, Nasri, Mahrez, Aguero, Sterling, Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva got 51 Premier League assists for Manchester City so far. David Silva, just ahead of him in second, has 101, nearly double. And then Kevin De Bruyne is first with 120. So Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva and David Silva make the top three. Nathan, just seen Pickford's save. Fair play. I've still not seen it. I'll have a look at it later on. Reggie, how the hell is Doku there? Semenyo, not Semenyo, no. Reggie shows you what a Tin Pot tiny institution City are. Phil Gabe, are you a Man City fan? I'm not a Man City fan, no, but we do quizzes every single day, and it generally focuses on the team that we're watching. So City and Leeds. We could have done one on Leeds. In fact, we might be able to. Have I got the Leeds ones? I don't think I've got the Leeds ones. But yeah, we could do. We do a quiz every single day. But I'm not a City fan. I'm a Liverpool fan, mate. Joe, can you name the 14 players to play for both Liverpool and Leeds since the start of the Premier League? Probably not right now. No, not before half-time finishes. 14 players who've played for both Liverpool and Leeds. Fowler, Barmby. Trying to think how many I can get. Fowler, Barmby, Kewell. Dominic Matteo. Who else has played for Leeds and played for Liverpool? I'm struggling now. McAllister did, didn't he? Milner. Any goalkeepers? I'm trying to think of a goalkeeper. Kirkland never played for Leeds. No. I can't think. I'm struggling after that. Gary McAllister, Milner, Fowler. Dylan, let me guess. You want City to win? I do, mate. Yeah, I want City to win. Schmeichel never played for Liverpool, mate. Becchio never played for Liverpool. Fowler, Barmby, Kuhl, Matteo, McAllister, Milner. They are the only ones I've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you said there's 14. There's 14 and I've got 6. Sweet Lord. I don't know why. I've got a feeling of like players like Warnock. I think Warnock played for him. Did Stephen Wright play for him at all? Stephen Wright, maybe. I don't know. I'm clutching at straws a little bit here. I don't know. I'm struggling. Ian Rush. Oh, of course, Rushy. Yeah, Rushy did. Rushy did. I'm struggling though after that. I'm really struggling. Speed didn't play for Liverpool. No, not Gary Speed. God rest his soul. Milner doesn't count. He's played for everyone. The dinner lady says you'd rather see City win the league or Arsenal. City. Yep, City. Jay Sakini says Scott Carson. Carson is a good one. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that. Carson, Rush. It's Stephen Wright. I think Stephen Wright is. There is a goalkeeper, but he never made an appearance for Liverpool. All right, well, then it doesn't count then, does it? Carson, Rush, Stephen. I think Stephen Wright did. Did Stephen Wright play for him? Let me have a look if Steve. I'm not going to check anything else, but did Stephen Wright play for him? I don't know. I'm thinking like. No, I'm struggling. Stephen Wright didn't play for him, so I've got to mark that one off. So I've got 1, 2. I mean, I didn't get Rush and I didn't get Carson, but Warnock, Milner, McAllister, Matteo, Kuhl, Barmby, Fowler, Pennant. Yeah, he did play for them, didn't he? I wouldn't have got Pennant. Juve did. Elland Juve did. It's another striker, isn't there? It's definitely another striker. Andy Lonergan. I wouldn't have got Andy Lonergan. Oh, Robbie Keane. I would have defo got Keane. I would have 1,000,000% got Keane. Keane, Juve. I'm not counting Pennant, Carson or Rush because I wouldn't have got any of them. I got Warnock, Milner, McAllister, Matteo, Kuhl, Barmby and Fowler. Glenn Johnson didn't. Yeah, Scott Carson played for Liverpool. You forgot an Irish player. I don't know who else. I'm struggling. Go on, tell us, mate, because I'm... In fact, here we can see it. Let me Google it. I'll Google top players. Players who've played for Liverpool and Leeds. Okay, so Nick Barmby, Scott Carson, Robbie Fowler, Elland Juve, Robbie Keane, Harry Kuhl, Andy Lonergan, you're not counting because he never played for him. Dominic Matteo, Gary McAllister, James Milner, we got Jermaine Pennant, Ian Rush, Stephen Warnock, we got... Oh, and Lee Peltier. Nah, I'm not counting Lee Peltier. Lee Peltier never played for us. There you go. Hey, that's not bad, that. We got a decent number. And we're literally about to get kicked off for the second half now. Good stuff. Lee Peltier. Mills. Yeah, not Danny Mills. Danny Mills never played for Liverpool, thank God. He was an absolute wrong'un. Terrible player as well. Right. Second half underway. at Elland Road. Come on, City. Kill them off. Finish the game off. Finn, Tierno Barry, he scores with his ass. Still not seen the goal, but I'm made up for him. I'm glad that... Here's a question for you, though, Finn. Right? So, Barry and Beto scored today. He dropped Barry, didn't he? Put Beto in, Beto scores, and then Barry comes off the bench and scores. Who'd you put in next week? Who'd you put in on Tuesday night? You got Burnley Tuesday night, haven't you? Who are you playing on Tuesday night from the start? Barry or Beto? Verona 1, Napoli 1. Where's that come from? Good grief. Luke, every time I'm here, I never get the results I'm hoping for. And Stacey says, I said Robbie Fowler. You did? Beto played well, hit the bar on a one-on-one, though. Surely you'd start Beto again. I would have thought they'd have put Tierno Barry in there just because he's the long-term solution, isn't he? I mean, ultimately, Beto, you know, it doesn't matter how good he's playing, he's not going to be the player that Everton count on long-term. So I would have thought that Everton would have maybe prioritised playing Tierno Barry a bit more. Leeds get a free kick here. 47 minutes in. Beanie says Arsenal-Chelsea prediction. I think 2-2. Yeah, I think 2-2. I was saying last night, I think that you look at the two recent games between Arsenal and Chelsea where they played in the Carabao Cup semi-final. At Chelsea, at Stamford Bridge, it was a really open basketball type of game, end-to-end, lots of chances for both teams, finished 3-2 in the end. And I think that's the type of game that we're going to see. The only reason we saw a dull, drab... It was a 1-0, wasn't it, Arsenal-Chelsea, the second leg? You know, Havertz scored late on. But I don't think we're going to see that type of game. The only reason we saw that type of game is because Arsenal sat back all game, didn't they? Because they had the lead. They didn't need to come out and score. So I don't think we see that. I think we see goals. I think it's Chelsea come out and they try and get... Chelsea know they have to win. Because chances are, maybe Liverpool have won and United have won by the time they play. So they're going to have to win. Be nice for us both if Chelsea drop points. I mean, I'm not really that worried, mate. If I'm dead honest, Beanie, I think Villa finish below all three of us. If I'm being really honest, I think my gut feel is that Villa fall away and finish below all three of us, and we all three of us get Champions League footy next year. But I'm clinging on to hope that United can finish below Villa just yet. Barry be a lot better off the bench with pace and strength. Now Leeds down the right-hand side. We've got ball over to the far side. Calvert-Lewin, big chance. Great block that is. What an unbelievable block that is from Matheus Nunes. Oh my goodness me. Do you know what? This fella, he's a central midfielder by trade. He signed him from Wolves as a centre mid. He's converted to an auxiliary right-back. My goodness me. What a player he's turning out to be, by the way. He's done really well at right-back for City. Every time they've put him in there, he's done a job. And I've been talking up the prospect of maybe Trent Alexander-Arnold going to City in the summer. And I still think that's a possibility. But with Matheus Nunes, they've got a real... Honestly, with the right-back situation, they've got a player there. He's a very good player. Daddy O says, I'll be shocked if Chelsea set up the way they did in the second leg, defensive until 60-odd minutes. Then subs to try and steal a goal. I don't think that's what happens. No, I think there's going to be goals. I think there's going to be goals tomorrow between Chelsea and Arsenal. Madhouse says Chelsea beat Arsenal or draw. Arsenal are melting. They're not doing so great, Arsenal, recently, so maybe Chelsea can get a result. Edge of the box for Leeds. Strike. Miles over the bar. Miles over the bar. But yeah, listen, don't forget, if you're new around here, If you're lurking in the chat, this is what we do every single day on this channel. We watch games of football. No nasty agenda, no hatred, believe it or not. Just good people, good chat, great community. We watch a game of football together every single day. That's what we do here, and it's all good fun. So today we've watched Liverpool beat West Ham 5-2. We're now watching Leeds and City 1-0. And I'm expecting tomorrow we watch Man United drop points against Palace at Old Trafford, followed by Arsenal-Chelsea dropping points each other. 2-2 maybe in that one, I'm thinking tomorrow. So if that's your thing, if you enjoy that sort of thing, then make sure you hit the like button, make sure you've subscribed, and you'll see more of it. If you don't want to see more of it popping up on your feed, then don't like, don't subscribe, block, do whatever you need to do. But I appreciate you being here anyway. Stacey, all three will get Champions League football, just a case of who's finishing in what order. It doesn't really make that much of a difference either, does it, Stacey? Third and fifth is as long as broad, really. You just get slightly more prize money from the Premier League in terms of third and fifth. Doesn't really make a difference, to be honest. Come on, Man City, says Julius. And Sarah says if City win, Arsenal definitely need to play for the win. They do, yeah. I think that's going to be the big issue here, is a City win really does put the pressure on Arsenal because of that extra game. Arsenal have to play Chelsea and go and take the 3 points. Heaven forbid Chelsea win tomorrow. Heaven forbid Chelsea win tomorrow. I can't see it, but they might do. Daddy, oh wait, blocking is an option. Always. Always. I hope you don't like, but it's an option. Michael Williams. Hiya, Michael. How's it going, man? Who's your team, Michael, and what do you predict for this one? It's Leeds 0, City 1 so far. 53 minutes gone. Chance! Oh! Near post. Very nearly Marmouche. Bye. How's it going, man? Good to see you. What's the goal difference between City and Arsenal, says Julius. Goal difference? Let me have a look, I'll tell you. So, Arsenal are on 56 goals scored, 21 conceded. City are on 57, 25 conceded. So, City have got a marginally, 42 to 45 for Arsenal. So, yeah, City could do with... A goal difference is like an extra point, but ultimately it'll come down to... I don't think it will come down to goal difference. It'll come down to points and who beats who at the Etihad. I think if it's a draw at the Etihad or a City win, I think they win the league. Arsenal have to go the Etihad and win. Stacey says, no, I'll be just happy because it's a massive improvement from last season. Yeah, it's a big step up, isn't it? It's definitely a better improvement from United, but I think with the amount of games next season, United have got a big job in the summer. If you do get Champions League football, it's a huge job for United to try and stay competitive across all four fronts. Good ball over the top. I think Calvert-Lewin's just offside here. They're going to let him play on. No, he has dragged it back. It is offside. Yeah, so goal difference is plus 45 for Arsenal, plus 42 for City as it stands. City switch the play over to the right-hand side and back to Diaz. Do we think that City... So difficult, isn't it, with City to look at them and think, like, how badly they've been this season. They've still got a chance, realistically, of winning a treble or a quad. Well, they have got a chance of winning a quad, haven't they? But they've been so poor this season. But this is what City do, isn't it? They spring into life towards the end of the campaign. And that's what Pep Guardiola, in fairness, you've got to give Pep Guardiola massive credit, because if Guardiola does manage to win something massive this season, whether it's a Premier League or a Champions League, he has maintained all season, whenever anyone's like give him stick and said, Pep, you're 15 points behind Arsenal at the minute, or whatever it's been, you're massive amount behind Arsenal at the minute, what do you think? And he's just like, the season's very long. The season is very, very long. There's one thing I know, as someone who's been in title races, the season is there's a long way to go. And if you've got to keep winning right to the very end to win this league, and, it's very tough. It's so tough. It's a very long season. And he's maintained that. Every time they've asked him, he's kept saying the same sort of thing. So if they actually do win it on that basis, that Arsenal have kind of faltered and stuttered at the end, have not done exactly what he professed, what a guy. What a manager. Oh, sweet Lord. Julia says, are you doing a Tottenham Hotspur versus Crystal Palace watch-along on Thursday? I am, yes. I am. Thursday night, I will be. Jesso says, can't believe we let Everton beat us. Get Pope gone yet again. He's costing us crucial points. And Sarah says, City could win the quad. They could. They could. They've certainly got the squad to do it, haven't they? Stacey says, change of subject. Oh, I tell you what, Cherky, lucky boy. That's a stamp, that, I'm telling you, that is a stamp from Cherky. That should be that possibly should be a red card. We saw this in the Brentford. Do you remember when Brentford played Villa? Exactly the same circumstance there. Cherky is just stamped on the Leeds player. That should be a red card, that. That probably should be a red card for me. Surprised. Very surprised. Boomer says, has Pep surpassed Sir Alex? No, not for me. Stacey, change the subject, but I'm running the Manchester Marathon again this year. Wow. Are you running it for anything or anyone in particular? Are you fundraising or something, Stacey? But yeah, congratulations. That's I'm assuming you say again. I'm assuming you've done it before. Well done. Luke says it'd be funnier if Arsenal win the league and Tottenham got relegated. I honestly think it's going to be a Spurs-Arsenal semi-final. I genuinely believe it's going to be Spurs-Arsenal semi-final in the Champions League. Jess Opino says, did you see Lloyd Kelly's red card via his reaction telling VAR to F off? Yeah, it was bad. It was never a red card, that was it. Never a red. Toblerone says, is it 3-0 City? It's not, no. It's Leeds 0, City 1. But it is getting a little bit feisty now as the game's going on. There's already been a player stamped on by Cherky. I think there was a potential red card. It didn't actually get checked, but I think there was a potential red card there for City. Cherky was maybe a lucky boy to not see red. And now City on the counter-attack. Plays the ball forward for Semenyo. Referee, bit of a coming together. Sarah, rather you than me, though. I couldn't run for my life. We're not all athletes. It's not all just physically, we're not all physical specimens. We can't all be. Madal says, Pep has always been overrated for me. Nowhere near Alex Ferguson or Klopp. I mean, do you know what? No, Pep's a very, very good manager, but, you've got to take into account the fact that he's spent massive money wherever he's been. Leeds should be 3-1 up in the first half, says Nelson. City are lucky. Still lots of time for Leeds to win. I don't think so. Toblerone says, I doubt Spurs will beat Atleti. Newcastle have a better chance. Not the way they're playing at the minute. I think Newcastle will get battered by Barcelona. But Spurs over 2 legs against Atleti, I wouldn't be surprised by. We saw Atleti were quite fortunate against Club Brugge. They also were pretty poor against, Rayo Vallecano in La Liga. They've not been brilliant this season, Atleti. Leeds wasted chances in the first half. They wasted one. There was only really one chance that they wasted. I don't think the Dominic Calvert-Lewin one was. The one where he drags it kind of wide and across the face of goal. That one wasn't. But the one where the ball comes in from the right-hand side and Calvert-Lewin, he's sliding in, he puts it wide. That one should have been. That was a big chance for them. But then again, City had a big chance, didn't they, with Nico O'Reilly? So, swings and roundabouts. If we're going to say that it's a big chance for Leeds, a big chance for City as well. Stacey says, I'm doing it for Alzheimer's Society again. First time last year. Took me 6 hours and 16 minutes. Wow. Love that. Hey, well, fair play. Well done to you. That's some effort. Well done, sir. Stacey, sorry. Sarah says, if it was swimming, I could swim for miles. I don't mind a bit of swimming. I can swim underwater very well. I can swim underwater a lot better than I can swim on top of the water, bizarrely. Stacey says, Lohal says, I'm watching live in Kenya. Lots of love to Kenya. Fergie's got 13 titles, Pep's got 6. Fergie rebuilt many, many times, didn't he? And this is kind of one of the first times we've seen Pep rip things up and have to do it all again. Sopuchi, Rosaline David, I need 2 goals, please. I don't think we're going to see 2 goals. I think it might well be maybe another City goal to come. City looking good. City looking in control, aren't they? Yeah, they're certainly more in control. Strike from the edge of the box. Oh, big chance! Oh, Marmouche. Ruben Dias with a strike from the edge of the box that just kind of looked like it was rolling wide. And Marmouche at the back stick. I think he's got to gamble and do well there, really. It's just a poor chance, that. That's a big, big chance, and it's a poor finish. Tondera says we need Doku, the pass master. Definitely need a little bit more pace, don't you, on that left-hand side. I probably would be inclined to take Cherky off. I think Cherky's not had a great game for City. I'd take him off, and I'd maybe consider putting... I'd maybe even take Aït-Nouri off and put Nico O'Reilly back to left-back. Or take O'Reilly off, put Nico Gonzalez in there, get a little bit more control in midfield. And maybe put Foden on for Cherky. Or Doku on for Cherky. And maybe even put... you could probably put on... I don't know, maybe Foden for Marmouche. Maybe play Foden centre-forward for the last bit. Or like a false 9. Because to be fair, at the minute, they've got Semenyo drifting into the centre-forward positions. Bernardo Silva... I mean, Semenyo's kind of furthest forward here. Madhouse just in England. We have Paisley, Shanks, Busby, Clough and Alex Ferguson building squads from the basics. That's it. Toblerone, I think Pep is on his 3rd rebuild. I mean, he walked into a very, very good City squad, didn't he? He walked into the City squad that already had Sterling and Kevin De Bruyne and Fernandinho. He already had a lot of that in place. We walked into a very, very good City side that, won the title recently. So for me, no, I don't think it's not necessarily the same sort of thing. He's always just tweaked, but he's had a lot of money to do it. Reece says Brian Clough was better than Fergie and Pep. No, Brian Clough was nowhere near Fergie. No chance. Forest won 1 league title and 2 European Cups. Can't win a European Cup more than a league title. City's width is the fullbacks, both wingers playing inside. Yeah, Aït-Nouri's very high up, isn't he? And Mateus Nunes is the same. Mateus Nunes, I think, is... Sometimes Mateus Nunes, because he's such a big, tall lad, he ends up dropping into centre-back, doesn't he? Nigel says, great wins for our beloved teams. Key, Liverpool scoring 5 and Norwich winning again under a brilliant man manager, Philippe Clement. Philippe Clement deserves massive praise for what he's done. Absolutely massive praise for what he's done at Norwich, doesn't he? Really good to see, Nigel. 3-star says, I used to do a bit of highboard diving in my younger days, but I got banned. Every time I dived in the pool, emptied, and they had to close down for 2 days. Okay. Vuyu, would you rather Liverpool play in the Conference League or no Europe at all? Probably no Europe at all. Yeah, I'd rather no Europe at all. Actually, no. No, I'd rather the Conference League. I would rather the Conference League, just because I think it'd be good for Liverpool to... Again, you'd win the competition, wouldn't you? Liverpool would win it. It's a competition we've never won before. And we'd probably play our kids all the way through it. And also, the club would have no justification for having a small squad. On a Permo, I turned it off 30 seconds before half-time and came in here and it was 1-0 City. Can't turn it off against City, mate. They're so clinical. Semenyo now... Oh, it's Cherky. Semenyo's made a run inside. Toblerone, I think people need to stop downplaying Pep's achievements. You can say, I don't like it, that's fine. It's not downplaying him, it's just saying that I think ultimately, mate, he's spent an awful lot of money and he's never really had to do what, say, Jurgen Klopp had to do. He's won an awful lot. He's a wonderful manager. I don't think anyone disputes that, and he's one of the all-time greats. But, yeah, I think if getting the best out of your resources is a measure for... I honestly believe if Pep Guardiola finishes at Manchester City and he's won one Champions League with them, I think that will be considered a failure. I think it'll be an absolute, total failure if Manchester City have won one Champions League in 10 years of dominance from Pep Guardiola. Far post, City, hit it. Oh, unlucky. Nearly 2-0. Good effort, that. Jens, I'm from Indonesia. Lots of love to Indonesia. Fergie will always be the best. Yes, I mean, I hate to say it as a Liverpool fan, but I think Fergie, it's certainly in the Premier League era, I think Fergie is certainly he's the benchmark, isn't he? I think Mourinho was fantastic. I think Wenger changed the game. I think Jurgen Klopp revolutionised the game, maybe in the same way that Wenger did. I think Wenger revolutionised it off the pitch as much as he did on the pitch. But Klopp, Wenger, Mourinho, Pep, Fergie, they would be the ones for me. I mean, Ancelotti as well. Ancelotti gets overlooked a lot of the time, but I think Ancelotti came in and did wonderful as well. And he's an all-time great as well, isn't he? SLS, do you think Leeds can draw? Not for me. No, I don't think so. I think Leeds 0, City 1 currently. City have been very, very comfortable defensively in the second half. We've not seen anything from Leeds as an attacking threat. Luke says Klopp or Prime Wenger. Prime Klopp is better than Prime Wenger, yes. I think the best Liverpool side would beat the best Arsenal side. The Invincibles, I think Liverpool would beat. Yeah. If you put Sadio Mane, Firmino, Salah, and you've got Prime Van Dijk, Prime Alisson, Robertson and Trent on the wings, I don't believe that the Prime Arsenal side under Wenger beats that side, no. Be a great game, though. Be a fabulous game. Wenger spent 19 years in the Champions League and couldn't win it with Arsenal. And he didn't necessarily have like a poor side, did he? He always had a side he should have done better with, and it's the same really with City. Toblerone says Pep started possession-based and went direct to beat Arsenal. Now he's changed into a transition team. I'm not saying he's a bad manager, mate. I'm really not saying he's a bad manager. I hope that's not what's coming across. I think he's a very, very good manager. He's an elite manager, and in fact, I've praised him in this game. I think he's been fantastic. I just think that he's probably not comparable to Ferguson, in my opinion. Reggie, how shit is this game that we're debating Wenger's legacy? Beggars belief. I can't promise you classics every day, Reggie. We watch footy every day. Sometimes, even when it's a bit naff, we'll still have a chat and we'll watch the game together and we'll just talk rubbish about whatever it might be. Wenger's legacy in this case. Roshanth, would Wenger win with this Arsenal squad? I think Wenger, I'm yearning as a neutral, let's say. I am yearning for a manager to take over this Arsenal squad with a real positive mindset. Like, if you put a manager in this Arsenal squad with all the depth that they have and the ability they've got and those players, I think they'd play some wonderful football. But I think Mikel Arteta's just a really, really negative manager. He's so dour. He's just so... I don't like watching Arteta ball. I think it's so poor. So difficult to watch. It's not to say, again, that he's a bad manager either, but he's not won anywhere near enough for the money he spent. And that is the case even if Arsenal win the league this year. He's had to do a lot better, and I think the style of play is a real problem. But, no, I think if Wenger got this current Arsenal squad, he'd not only would they be winning, I think they'd be working wonders and playing really well with it as well. Arpen says, Pep's a checkbook manager, couldn't do anything with no talented player. Jose's miles better. I like Jose as well. I think Jose was brilliant too. Porto 2004 were massive cheats. Why were they cheats? Toblerone says, let's not pretend Wenger knew how to defend. Would be entertaining, but probably blow it by being too open. I mean, Pep's had that criticism levelled at him as well, hasn't he, in his time at City? Klopp certainly did. Arpen says, Pep has had prime Barca, prime Bayern, and a stacked Man City team. 115 are cheats. Tondera says, Arteta, the only manager with world-class players without even a Carabao. City header! Nearly two. Nearly two. Semenyo cleared away. City back to the far post. Back out to the corner taker. Got to hit that. Strike. Oh, unlucky. City very, very close to making it 2-0. And it's gone out for a throw-in on the far side. Wenger teams would get caught in transitions by everyone. I mean, I think he's a good enough manager to have adapted, mate. I don't think they would necessarily play the exact way that the Invincibles played. What a save that is by Carl Darlow, by the way. Mr. Whitesnake says, Leeds have had the chances and City have shown when the chance comes, you've got to take it. That's true enough. Services on a permo Liverpool did against a world-class AC Milan team, and look at the players Liverpool had. Porto 2004 had no talented players at Utah. He's smoking crack. They were wonderful, that Porto side. In fact, can we name... Let's name that Porto 2005 side. They had... Who was it in goal? What was the goalie's name? Vitor Bayar, wasn't it? Was it Vitor Bayar? And then it was Paulo Ferreira, Carvalho. I think Manish was in there, wasn't he? Not in the defence, but I'm not working it that way. Manish was there. Durlai, I think was Durlai in there. Deco, obviously. Was there a Russian? I don't know why I've got a feeling like Elenichev. Was there a Russian in there? Manish, Durlai, Deco. Benny McCarthy, obviously, was the centre forward, wasn't he? I'm struggling now. Who else was there? Toblerone says, convincing win for Liverpool today, can catch United and Chelsea. I think we finish above maybe both of them, to be honest. I think it's going to be a tight call, but I think Villa drop below all three of Liverpool, Chelsea and United by the end of the season. Stacey, if you've met any footballers, who's the best player you've met? The best player I've met? I don't really know. I mean, I've met a lot of nice footballers, to be honest. I think Xabi Alonso was a really nice fella. I was on a flight with Danny Pacheco, former Liverpool player. He was going to Malaga. He was flying from Liverpool Airport to Malaga because that's where he was playing. He was playing for Malaga, but I think he was on loan from Liverpool. But he was on our flight, and he was very nice. Maddow says, I rated Carvalho above John Terry. To be honest, yeah, me too. Yeah. Hepic says Porto were just better on the night. That Monaco side was very good as well. They had Dado Perso, didn't they? Ludovic Giuli, what a player he was. Who else did they have that Monaco side? Patrice Evra, of course. Come on, Key, test your memory. The Monaco v Porto 2003-04 Champions League final. I've got Dado Perso, Ludovic Julie, Evra. Who else was there in that side? The Gout says, how's the City game looking, pal? Secure with the one. Leeds looking like a threat at all? No, sadly not, mate. No Leeds threat here. Dan James is about to come on. They've got a long throw into the box. I don't really see City. If I'm dead honest, mate, I don't really see City throwing this away. I could be wrong, but I don't see City throwing it away. It's a long ball into the box. Donnarumma comes out and claims it easily. What a snooze fest, says What a Brew. Numo Num says, to be honest, I do see City dropping more points this season with the Champions League games too. Listen, I think both teams will. I honestly think Arsenal and City drop points between now and the end of the season. Stacey, did Shevchenko, I think that's how you spell it. No, Shevchenko played for AC Milan, but not for Porto. Costa and Carvalho in defence, yeah. Falcao wasn't at Monaco, no. Let me have a look at that side. Let's have a check. Come on, let's not half-arse this. Monaco, Porto, 2003 final, 2003-4. It was. Here we go. Let's do the lineups. Who was the? I've got a horrible feeling. I'm telling you, I think there was a Russian. I'm sure there was a Russian in that Porto side that I've not got. Right, here you go. So Monaco had Flavio Roma. Oh, they got that. Flavio Roma, Hugo Ibarra. I think I would have got that with a bit of time. Wouldn't have got Julian Rodriguez. Gaël Givet. Do you remember him? Gaël Givet played for Blackburn. Patrice Evra. Wouldn't have got Edouard Cisse. Wouldn't have got Lucas Bernardi. Wouldn't have got Akos Zikos. Wouldn't have got him. Ludovic Julie. Definitely, we got him. Jerome Rotten. Do you remember Rotten? Jerome Rotten, and of course, Fernando Morientes. Liverpool signed Morientes off the back of that season. Oh, so annoying. And then they had on the bench Dado Perso, Emmanuel Adebayor. A certain Emmanuel Adebayor was on the bench for Monaco that night. Shabani Nonda, Yaroslav Plasil, and of course, Sebastian Squillaci, I think, who later played for Arsenal, didn't he? And then for Porto, it was Vitor Bayer, Paulo Ferreira, Jorge Costa, Ricardo Carvalho, Nuno Valente. Played for Everton, Nuno Valente. How did we get him? Costinha, Pedro Mendes, Manish, Deco, Derlai. We got Carlos Alberto. And there was also Jose Bosingua, Alenichev. Of course it was. I got him. Alenichev. And Benny McCarthy, of course. The great Porto side. And it was Mourinho against Deschamps. Stacey says, once I went bowling and in the next lane, Chris Smalling was with his friends. He bowls better than he played football. City with a chance here. Over to the left-hand side. There's 10, 11 minutes left to go in this one. Wow says, do you think AS Monaco or Angers will win today? I'd go Monaco. Christ, how much have City paid this ref? Obafemi Martins at Porto. Not Obafemi Martins, no. Thought this would have more goals. I thought that too. I thought we'd see at least a 3-1 maybe, or I don't know, but evidently not. I am Cruz says, Key, how generation will your live be when Bodo Glimt knock out quad winners Arsenal in the quarters? Do you know what? It could be that, or it could be, imagine when Spurs knock them out in the semis. Or when they lose to Liverpool in the final. Oh, please. Please. That'd be wonderful. That would be the generational head loss. If they lost against Bodo Glimt, if they lost against Spurs, or they lost against Liverpool. Oh, I tell you what. Look at the blood pouring out of his leg there. Jesus. That's a bad tackle, that. The Leeds defender's leg is literally, his sock's red. He's got a red sock. If you want to take the heavens, then you should take Tanaka. 92FC says, must win for Spurs tomorrow, and I think they will win away at Fulham. Yeah, it'll be a tough game, that one. Here's Nonto. Good play from Nonto. Good ball in. Cleared away by City. Better. To be fair, the Spurs semi-final loss, but Spurs going down would be the funniest thing. Yeah, Spurs somehow winning the Champions League after winning the Europa League to absolutely cane any sort of European record that they have as rivals with Arsenal, but they get relegated would be dreadful. Bodo beat Spurs, says Luke. Femsal says Liverpool in the final. Joker, delusional. Hey, listen, Liverpool have been to more finals than you've had hot dinners, sunshine. We've been to lots of European finals, and we've won quite a lot of them too. On a permo, it's rough when you're on the receiving end of it. Sorry, you need to live with that. It's like PTSD. Oh, what's that? Sorry. Sorry, yeah. Julius, Gamer Guru, just wait for us to knock you out of the Champions League semi-finals. Pride of Mercy said, Key, you're doing another game at 8. I'm not, mate. No, I'm not doing another game at 8. I'm only doing these 2 for today. Leeds and City. Obviously, we did Liverpool, West Ham earlier. Tomorrow, I've got another 2, which is going to be, obviously, your Man United against Palace, followed by... Who did we say? Man United, Palace, followed by Arsenal, Chelsea, of course. Yeah, so... 2 games today, 2 games tomorrow, back on Monday. And I don't know, I'm torn on Monday. I don't know whether to watch. I might do Real Madrid. Middlesbrough against Birmingham. Or is it Birmingham? I think Birmingham against Middlesbrough, isn't it, in the Championship? But Real Madrid play Getafe. And I just think that Premier League, that La Liga title race is so unpredictable at the minute. It's very similar to watching, obviously, your Cities and your Arsenals and whatever at the minute, duke it out at the top. Real Madrid are desperately in need to beat Getafe. Barcelona have been a little bit all over the place recently, losing to Girona. Not playing so well against Atleti in the Copa del Rey. So it's going to be a really interesting game, that one on Monday. Real Madrid, Getafe, but I've toyed with the idea of watching Birmingham. Madhouse says, which English club will Klopp manage next? He isn't managing another English club. He's made a pledge. He said publicly, I won't manage another English club. And if I'm dead honest, I don't think he manages another club full stop. I would be amazed if Jurgen Klopp comes out of retirement. I think he's already retired. I think he's done as a manager. He's got a very cushy, lucrative job as the head of football for Red Bull. I don't think there's any club that could pull him out of retirement. And I think the Real Madrid job is obviously the biggest job in football you could look at and say that's massive, and maybe it would tempt him out, but do we really think that's not a project? Every manager at Real Madrid has been sacked within, Zidane. Zidane's the only one, and he's already a Madrid legend. I just don't think that they would get on board with Jurgen Klopp. They wouldn't respond to it too well. Good clearance from City. Did very well. I am Cruise's honest opinion. I reckon it's us v Bayern, Arsenal v Atleti, or Barca semis. Can't split those 2. And big win today for Lincoln and Cardiff. Both ended 4-0. The top spot's picking up. Yeah, League 1 and League 2 looking really chaotic as well today. Pride of Merseyside do Madrid Getafe. I think that's the one we will do. Yeah. Foul is a foul. Behave yourself. We can't be talking about that. Sam Heike was there at the game last night. Wow, what a performance. Great result for Wolves last night, mate. Yeah, it was fantastic. Such a shame, isn't it, that you've left it this late in the season to show what Wolves are capable of. It was a phenomenal performance. And it's just a shame that it's taken this long to see this sort of thing from Wolves. It's a yellow card. Referee is booking Donnarumma, the goalkeeper, for mouthing off, basically, there. Pride of Merseyside, I think Real Madrid, United, Liverpool are the hardest teams to manage. Yes, fair enough, I think. Tony, come on, City. Don't think I'd ever shout that. And 3-star says, look at all these better days, though, you've seen at Celtic since then. Headed away by City. And ZXNO, all right, Key, what would you say? Who would you say is the most underrated player at Liverpool? Most underrated? Probably Florian Wirtz at this moment in time. Honestly, I think he's been terrific. We've missed him so much. He's a wonderful player. He's becoming really, really important for us. To the point where I genuinely think he's been more important to us than Szoboszlai over the last 3 or 4 months. Matty, can you explain to me why Everton are so good at football up the European toffees? There's no chance, Matty, that you're getting Europe. Not while you still have to play at the Hill Dickinson. No chance. I am Cruises might see the odds on Wolves and Burnley to stay up, Spurs, Forest and West Ham to go. Wolves literally have to win every single game that's left. They'd have to win every single game, and even then they'd probably go down. That's how bad it is for Wolves. Sam says we don't concede many goals. We're so packed defensively. I could see us being a problem for Liverpool. I agree. Yeah, I agree. I think you could. You play us twice next week, obviously. So me and you are going to be butting heads, Sam. Handball. Listen to the state of that. You're not getting handball for that. You're not going to get handball for that. Behave. Never handball. That's not handball. Can't call handball for that. 92FC says, when is Isak due back? Isak is back at the end of March. Start of April. That's handball. Behave yourself, Welsh wing. That's never handball. Will says, Key, do you like the look of that Bayern Munich youngster Carl? He seems to be a talented young player, but you can't put too much stock into players at that age, mate. There's so many who start well and then fade away and just disappear. Takes a bit more time, really. But he looks a good young player, yeah. His arm is out. Behave yourself. It comes over the head of another player. His arm's like that. You can't give that as a penalty. Come on, mate. That's ridiculous. Clutching at straws. Ben says, do you reckon we'll get Upamecano or Schlotterbeck in the summer? Upamecano signed a new deal, hasn't he? I don't think we're going to sign him. I think, if anything, we're far more likely to sign Canate. Again, I'd love it if we did. Absolutely love it if we did. Welshring, if that's versus Arsenal, Key, you're screaming at the screen. Stop being biased. You had a go at me earlier. That you just, mate, you're not. I am not being biased. There is no way anyone in their right mind would claim a handball for that. You can't, just because it hits an arm doesn't mean it's handball. His arm is here and it comes over the head of a defender. He's not even looking at the ball. They didn't gain an advantage as a result of that. You can't give handball for that. You can't give handball for that. That's ridiculous. Thank God the referee's got some sort of common sense here. Never handball. They'll claim handball all day. So nervous right now. 1 goal's not enough. I think City will do it, mate. I think they'll get over the line here. It's a tough away win, but they'll do it. Josh, is Manchester going to take the win today? I think City will win. That's on ball all day, mate. Take off the blinders, Key. Take off the blinders. Take off your red tinted specs. Take off your Arsenal tinted specs. You're desperate for a penalty there. Stacey says, what score do you think for United v Palace? My head, Stacey, says like 3-0 to United. My heart is hoping Palace can win 2-0 so you go below us. If it's 2-0 Palace, listen, Palace are all over the place. You have to win that one. You absolutely have to win it. Jake of Arabia, Sapning Keelan, how's it going, Jake? And Welshring, by the law, whether you agree or not, his arm is not in a natural position. That's not the law. That's not the law. The law isn't just natural position. The handball law has multiple facets to it. It's not just about natural position. It's entirely about distance from the ball. It's about body shape as well and all that sort of stuff. But it's also about gaining an advantage. There's all these factors collectively, not one single thing, but collectively that the referee factors in. And the threshold for that to be... The referee was never going to give that. And if VAR looked at it, they're never ever going to send the referee to the screen for that. For that, behave yourself. No chance. Doesn't even hit his hand. It hits like here. It hits there. It's like his bicep. You can't get it. Behave yourself. I'm not even encouraging this conversation. You're winding me up. There's no way that is handball. No serious Arsenal fan is actually saying that's fucking handball. Behave yourself. 92FC says City have an easy run of fixtures, or as easy as it can be. Langell says, what score do you predict for Arsenal-Chelsea tomorrow? I think 2-2. I think Chelsea can get something tomorrow. So here we go. There's 8 seconds of normal time left. Leeds Long throw into the box. City clear it away. Life of Justin. Yeah, I was going to say, it is, isn't it? It's pure fishing. They're just trying to reel me in. That's all it is. There's no serious Arsenal fan thinks that's a bloody handball. Behave yourself. 3 Star says, in a relegation scrap, my cold heart says United win. No sentiment in football when there's a battle to be won on the pitch. It's a goal kick there, and it's only 6 minutes of added time with 6. We've got 30 seconds in, so there's 5.5 to go. Ian says, good tuning in again, Key. I love your show despite Liverpool beating us. Ian, it's a pleasure to see Ian Treasure in the chat. Lots of love, mate. Really appreciate you coming in. Lots of love across the pond to you and your family. And yes, hopefully see you soon. We're back again tomorrow. We'll be live again tomorrow for Man United Palace. And we'll also be live for Arsenal against Chelsea. If that was Arsenal, you'd be screaming for VAR. No. Adzo, are you an Arsenal fan tomorrow, Key? I'm not really. I'm neither an Arsenal or a Chelsea fan tomorrow. I'm just watching the game for pure enjoyment. I can't lose tomorrow. If Arsenal win, then Chelsea have dropped points and we're ahead of them. If Chelsea win, then Arsenal have bottled it, which I think we're all expecting anyway. Or if they both draw, then they've both dropped points. That's wonderful. So I'd be delighted with anything. Honestly, I can't lose tomorrow. I'm just watching the game and enjoying it from a football fan's point of view. I couldn't care less. Do you know what? I'll celebrate every goal. You've got my absolute commitment that if Arsenal score, I'll celebrate it. I will celebrate it. If Arsenal score, I'll celebrate. If Chelsea score, I'll celebrate. I'll have these receipts ready. Yeah, I bet you will, mate. I bet you will. Good lad. Stacey says, sorry to disappoint, but we will come on United. I think you probably will win, Stacey. I'm hoping you don't. I'm watching in hope tomorrow that Man United falter. User 653, I'm an Arsenal fan, but other than your bias, I think you're great. Cheers, man. I think you're great as well. Ball whipped in, cleared away by City. Great defending. 3.5 minutes to go. Into the box, and that's a foul. Good play, that. Really good play, that. Well done. Honor Permol says we had it with Odegaard. He thought he was playing basketball. And Tony says draw tomorrow would be the best result for us and for City, Key. Well, maybe. And maybe a draw is what we get. I've predicted 2-2. Welsh Wing says, Sura, exactly, and Liverpool fans to this day claim it's a pen, which I agreed with. Yeah, but the Odegaard handball in the penalty area is not the same as that one, is it? Let's not try to pretend all handballs are equal. He was literally bouncing it in the area. That's not the same. Odegaard needs to play with his hands these days to gain some advantage. The guy's been shite. And Gamer Guru says that was handball all day long. How we got away with it was baffling. Yeah, it's true enough. Madhouse says Key is the least biased Liverpool fan on YouTube. That's not my words. That's the words of Madhouse. I wish he didn't have such a mad username, because then that might give that quote a little bit more credibility. Mental Person 257 says Key is the least biased Liverpool fan on YouTube. LFC Jake says Key, I'm rooting for Arsenal. I want top 4. Mate, listen, we'll get 5th. As an absolute minimum, we'll get 5th. 5th will get you Champions League place this season. So we'll get 5th. And the difference between 3rd and 5th is negligible. It doesn't really matter. So I'm not that bothered. I'm not concerned. I think we'll finish 3rd, to be honest. But even if we finish 5th, I couldn't care less. We'll get in the Champions League. That's the whole point of it. Gamer Guru, sarcasm is lost on you there, Key. Fred says, right now, City are missing Nico Gonzalez as the season starts. That guy played really well. He did. He was very good. Ian Young says we'll finish 3rd. I think so too, Ian, yeah. I think we've seen enough of Liverpool to see that we'll finish 3rd. Hendo, thoughts on Anfield agenda? Honestly, mate, I don't really see him. And it's nothing to do with him or anything. It's just when he's live, I'm live, generally speaking. So I don't really watch him. I've only seen like clips, and I hear what you guys tell me about him. So honestly, I don't really have an opinion. I just see clips here and there. So I don't really have any thoughts, or at least no thoughts that would be worth noting. But he's built something very successful, fair play to him. I'm sure we wouldn't agree on an awful lot in terms of Liverpool, because he's very much Arne Slot out. And that's a very popular opinion, isn't it? If you want to get views on a channel, then saying Arne Slot out generally works quite well. LFC Jake, we'll get third and win the Champions League and the FA Cup. Take that now. I'd be delighted. Welshwing says, in all fairness, Key said the Everton versus Arsenal handball was handball. I'm not, I'm not entirely Mr. Totally biased. I'll claim, certainly for Liverpool, I tend to claim everything. But on reflection, once I've watched it back, out of the heat of the moment, I can say, nah, that wasn't a pen. But with other teams, there's no way you're getting on ball for that. Right, 96 minutes on the clock. 6 minutes of added time is what we were given. And this is very, very nearly the end. In fact, it is the end. There you go. It's the Pep Guardiola and Danny Farke embrace. Ian says, can we have whatever LFC Jake's on, please? Love that positivity. Jake's always dead positive. He's a top guy. Vojstala says, what a boring game. Everybody scored goals, but City and Leeds. Even Everton scored 3. And Honor Permo says, Key doesn't really support Liverpool, though, so all the Everton hate is manufactured to keep his Liverpool mask believable. I'm actually a massive Everton fan, yeah. Come on, says Julius. Get in, City, says Tony. Yes, great result for City. Fabulous result for City. Keep the title race alive. And it puts the pressure on Arsenal tomorrow, which means Arsenal have to come out. And it might mean they take the game to Chelsea. Which means Liverpool, like I said, I'm enjoying the game tomorrow. Whatever happens, I'll be delighted. I'm hoping that Palace can get something off United. My Sunday would be wonderful tomorrow. How good is our Sunday going to be tomorrow? We're watching Man United against Palace. If Palace can get something in that one, come on the Eagles. And then, as soon as that one finishes, straight to Arsenal and Chelsea. If there's any way at all we can get... what's Danny Farke having a go at him? Danny Farke's been sent off, I think. Danny Farke's been sent off. Whoa, why's Danny Farke been sent off? Key with his Leon Osman poster over his bed. Naismith. Danny Farke's sent off after the game. Yeah, what's up with Farke? I think he's claiming that handball. I think he's got Welshwing in his ear. He's got Welshwing and them Arsenal fans, Gamer Guru and Welshwing in their ear. Saying it's a penalty, Daniel. It's a penalty. I think it was a penalty, that. Reggie says, you cheating bastard, you know what you are. Rings out from the Leeds fans. Cheating. There was no cheating there. There was never any cheating. Right. Well, listen. We've got another day of football over with. Leeds 0, Manchester City 1. Straight after Liverpool winning 5-2 at Anfield. It's all kicking off here again. Still kicking off. All kicking off. I think it's finished now. But yeah, there you go. That is the end of tonight's footy with me anyway. I'll be back tomorrow for Manchester United against Crystal Palace, Old Trafford, 1 p.m. I am live. So it's a 2 p.m. kickoff. I'll be live at 1 o'clock for that. And then as soon as that game finishes, we're doing Arsenal-Chelsea. And then Monday, I'm back for Real Madrid against Getafe in La Liga. So if you're new around here, again, I'll just say it just to wrap the night up. If you're new around here, you've never watched before, my name's Key. I watch live footy every single day with this wonderful community of people, these brilliant fans from all over the world who watch with us. And it's just good people, good vibes, good people, a pub chat atmosphere. We do quizzes, we talk about different stuff. We've talked about Wenger's legacy tonight. We've talked about the Porto v Monaco Champions League final in 2003-04. We tend to go off on a tangent while the game's on. And obviously we're talking about the game as it's going on if it's interesting. But if you enjoy that sort of thing, if you enjoyed the live tonight, make sure you've hit the like button. Make sure you've subscribed and you'll see more of them popping up in your feed. And I'll see you tomorrow for Manchester United against Palace. Have a lovely, lovely Saturday night. Take it easy. See you soon. Ta-ra.